Najeeb, a hopeful young man from Kerala, India, discussed with his wife, Sainu, his dream of working in Saudi Arabia to provide a better future for their unborn child. The excitement and optimism shone in their eyes as Najeeb prepared to leave for the Gulf. Upon arriving in Saudi Arabia, Najeeb realized he had been deceived. Instead of the promised construction job, he was taken to a remote desert farm and forced to work as a goat herder. The shock and fear of his new reality started to set in. Najeeb struggled to survive in the harsh desert environment. He lived in a small, filthy hut, given barely enough food and water, and was subjected to the cruel treatment of his Arab master. The isolation and despair weighed heavily on him. As the days went by, Najeeb found solace in the goats he tended. He began to see them as his only companions, talking to them and finding comfort in their presence. The depth of his loneliness and the small joys that kept him going were highlighted in these moments. Desperate to regain his freedom, Najeeb made a daring escape attempt. He sneaked away at night, but was quickly caught and brutally punished by his master. This marked a low point in Najeeb's journey, showing the consequences of trying to escape. Najeeb grappled with his situation, reflecting on his family back home and the dreams that brought him to Saudi Arabia. His inner turmoil was evident as he contemplated whether to continue fighting for his freedom or resign himself to his fate. Najeeb overheard a conversation about a distant village where he might find help. This reignited his hope, and he began to carefully plan another escape, this time with more determination and caution. Making a second escape attempt, Najeeb traveled through the desert at night. The tension was palpable as he navigated the treacherous terrain, driven by the hope of finally breaking free from his captors. Exhausted and dehydrated, Najeeb collapsed in the desert. He was found by a group of Bedouins who, after some hesitation, decided to help him. This captured the fragility of his situation and the kindness of strangers. With the Bedouins' help, Najeeb reached a small town and contacted the Indian embassy. The overwhelming relief he felt at finally being free was palpable, as he realized his ordeal was nearing an end. Najeeb returned to Kerala, where he was reunited with his wife and met his child for the first time. The reunion was emotional, as Najeeb grappled with the joy of being home and the trauma of his experience. Back in his village, Najeeb found it difficult to adjust to normal life. He was haunted by memories of his time in the desert and struggled to reconnect with his family and community. The lasting impact of his ordeal was evident. Najeeb began to share his story with others, both to raise awareness about the plight of migrant workers and to find healing for himself. His story moved those who heard it, and he became a symbol of resilience and survival. With the support of his family, Najeeb slowly began to reconnect with his old life. He spent time with his child and started to find moments of peace and happiness, signaling the start of his emotional recovery.